lovely people, Nina here. So I've been in such a bad reading slump this week to a point where I'm like, I don't know what I want to read, like at all. I've gone through multiple of my books. I've gone through books that like my sister suggested to me. I've gone through books that my mom was like, you might like this, and I just can't find what I want to read. I DNF'd 3 different books. One was the Sounds Like Love book, which is Ashley Poston's book, and it was just personal preference. I just got kind of bored with the plot and didn't really love it as much as her other ones, and I could maybe go back to it, but as of right now, I was like, no. The other 2 were just problematic authors, and so I was like, I started reading them, and then I saw things online about them not being great, and so I was like, yeah, not doing that, so I DNF'd those 2, and then, I've just been in, like, a reading slump, and, like, I don't know what to read, and so my current read right now is, Martha Wells' The Exit Strategy, which is the 4th installment in the Murderbot series, and this one, I love this series. I just kept putting this on the back burner. I don't know why. I read the first 3 over the summer and then just kept putting this off. There's really no reason, because I really do love this book, and I'm not much of like a sci-fi type reader, but I love this series. I started this up again because my audiobook was going to lapse at the library, and I was like, I should finish this. It's very short. The audiobook is like 4 hours only, so I've been reading this solely based on the fact that I was like, I need to read it before my audiobook expires, but I like didn't know what to read, and so I have a collection of books that I've gathered that I've been like, maybe I'll read these, and based on, I think it's just like the current climate and what's happening just in America and around the world, and everything's just been kind of hard, and I've been really down because of it, and so it affects like what I want to read. So we'll see. I have a collection of books here that I think I'm gonna try to read. I honestly don't know. If you have book suggestions or like a book that got you out of a reading slump that you really enjoyed, let me know, because I was like, do I want to read like a romance novel maybe? And then I tried to read one, and I was like, I don't like this, I don't enjoy this, and so I was like, I don't know. So this is kind of what a collection that I have based on the current situation that's happening, and February is Black History Month, so I figured I should like highlight Black authors and read for Black History Month as well. And so this is kind of what I have so far of like ones that I possibly want to read. The first one is Malcolm X, as told by Alex Haley, and it's the autobiography. So many people are like, this is amazing, and so this is on my list. It's a bit thicker, so that's a little reason why I've been hesitant, because 2 of the books on my TBR like list that I have here are like quite hefty books, so I have to spend a lot of time like with them, but I really want to read this, so I feel like maybe this will be my go-to after the Murderbot series. I'll try this. I also love learning about people. I just think it's really fascinating, and I always love reading biographies and autobiographies because people are just so amazing and interesting, and I feel like reading about Malcolm X seems really fitting for the times that we are in. The other one is Bloodmarked, which is the second one in the series to Legendborn. I read Legendborn last year. The only thing that is stopping me is she's hefty. She's like a big old read. So I really have to commit a lot of time to this. But I absolutely loved Legendborn. It had me like turning page after page after page. It was just so, like, gripping and compelling, and her writing is just amazing, that I was like, well, I obviously need to read the second one. And I've heard that the amazing things about this, and so I was like, okay, I'll read the second one, which is Bloodmarked. So yeah, literally the only thing stopping me is, like, I have to spend a lot of time with this guy. But I am actually really excited to read this. So that one. And then the next one I have is Resist, which is How a Century of Young Black Activists Shaped America. And the only thing stopping me with this one is that I'm waiting for my audiobook to come up at the library, and I think I have like a week wait. So once that is out, then I'm going to read this one. Everything will pause and I'll read this. But yeah, I've had this for a while, and I don't know why. I've had so many books that I have to read. But again, with the current climate that we are in and what is happening in America, I feel like this seems like a really perfect fitting read, and I'm actually really excited to read this. So there's that one. And then the last 3-ish that are on my potential February list. This is, again, I'm just giving myself like a bunch of options because, again, this reading slump has been so bad where I have been picking up books and being like, no. I get like 3 chapters in and I'm like, I can't waste my time with this. I don't love it. Yeah, it's not good. So the last ones I have are Lady Hubbard, The Last Suspicious Holdout, which is a series of interconnected short stories. I don't know much about this or the author. I just saw it on, I think maybe, I don't remember if I got this at a local bookstore, and it just sounded good. Or maybe Book Outlet. Not quite sure. I don't remember. But this has been on, and this one's not super long, so a little bit of a shorter read. And I figured I could read it interconnected with like some of my longer ones. Yeah. So there's this one. And again, it's just a bunch of short stories. So that one. And then I have A Free Wheel in Time, which I have picked this up and put this down multiple times. And I have the audiobook available right now on my library. And so I feel like I should just read it. I don't know why I keep putting it down. I bet, again, with everything happening in Minnesota, I feel like reading about Bob Dylan and Sue's Rotolo. I got this right after A Complete Unknown had come out, and I was obsessed with the movie. So there's this one. Again, I don't know why I haven't read it yet. There's literally nothing stopping me. It's just like, I'm not sure what I want to read. And then the last one I have is Advocate, which is a graphic memoir of family, community, and fight for environmental justice. And I just, again, thought this was a perfect book for the current times we are in. And I'll show you the thing. It's really cool. I got this as a Christmas gift last year. And it's all in like greens and blues, and so it looks like this. It's really cool. I love graphic novels. If you don't know that about me, I just think they're really cool, and I always love the illustrations and how, depending on who's doing the graphic novel, how different they are. Yeah. So I have this one too, which is, I feel like a graphic novel is a good way to get out of a reading slump. It's a little bit of a different taste from your regular fiction or non-fiction type book. So there's that one. Yeah, so that is my collection of books that I have to potentially read for January, end of January, beginning of February. But like I said, the reading slump just has been so bad, and I don't know. The last one I read, oh, I should tell you about this. The last one I read, I did finish One Day Everyone Will Have Always Been Against This. I saw some criticism that people were like, well, he didn't tell us anything that we didn't already know. And, like, true, I guess. If you read a lot and you read a lot of news and you read about what's happening in Palestine, then yeah, this might not be new. However, I still think it's important that we read and educate ourselves on what's happening. And one of the main points that he makes in this is that it's such a privilege to be able to look away and to not learn about it. And one day you're going to look back and be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened. When in the present time, we can be doing something and at least reading about it and not, even though it's horrendous and horrible, not shying away from it. So this was really amazing. I finished it within a few days. It's not super long. If you have the time and you're looking for a book to read, this is an amazing read. I think it's also really informative, not just for what's happening in Palestine, which is obviously extremely important that we're talking about, but what's happening in other places too, like Sudan, Congo, but also what's happening in America and what's happening in Minnesota, and participating in things like what this is. Also, there's a whole point of like, what can you do? Okay. As I'm filming this, it's Friday the 30th, and they've organized a general strike today, so no, it's like across all of the United States, so no shopping, no spending money, no work, and then everyone's supposed to be protesting at 2 p.m. And they've, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they've kind of been organizing protests. I plan on joining out on the streets this weekend and protesting with everyone else. If you can find the time, I highly suggest that you find a protest near you. If you cannot and you don't have the time for that, then I suggest picking up a book like One Day Everyone Will Be Against This, or one of the multiple other ones that I'll put more down below. I've talked about a few of them on here. And just educating yourself and reading, because there's media literacy and we just need to be reading about what's happening and reading about the current times and not shying away from that, because if you don't pay attention, A, that's very privileged, B, it's not going to help anyone by not talking about it, by not learning about it. So I really suggest that you, if you can't not work or can't not spend money or whatever, can't participate in the general strike, then I would suggest that you read about what's happening, pick up a book like One Day Everyone Will Have Been Against This, and give it a read. I will also put down links below. I always put down information about Palestine and how you can help, and Sudan and Congo and all of these people living in oppression, and how you can help. But I'm also going to put down restaurants and places that you can help in Minnesota, in Minneapolis, and St. Paul. There's so many restaurants right now that are struggling because of the ICE presence, and it's horrible to see. And there's so many great people that are suffering because of this ICE presence, and they went through the same thing in Chicago, I know, in California, and I just, seeing the people come together in Minnesota has been so amazing, and I just think that we can support these businesses the best we can. So I will put businesses that I've heard about and ways that you can help in Minnesota. Places like ACLU Minnesota have been working a lot, and there's just so many places. So I will put that down below if you want to check them out and help out. That would be amazing. And yeah, that is all for this week's video. It's a little bit longer, but I don't know what I want to read. So the whole point of this was figuring out what I'm going to read. I don't know. Yeah, if you have book suggestions or feel like this is what'll get you out of your reading slump, please let me know. That'd be so amazing. Because I'm hoping one of these will pull me out and be like the next amazing read. So yeah, that is all for this week's video. I love you all. I hope that you are able to participate in the general strike, or at least learn about what's happening right now in the United States or Palestine or wherever. And that you are staying, if you are striking, I hope you are staying safe and warm and joining all the people on the streets. So yeah, I love you all. I will see you next week with a brand new video. Bye!